The portal deposited us in the demiplane of Fargrave. It is a realm without a prince that serves as a crossroad through oblivion. 1,000 doors lead in and out of Fargrave, or so it is said. But the fate of Baragon and the Tribune concerns me. They were. Did something divert them? While Fargrave is a realm of limitless portals, including many that are permanent, the plane can play havoc with portal spells. No matter. There is no time to search for them. We have problems of our own. I sense a huge force of Shardborn ahead. And in my previous visits, I never saw anything like those crystalline growths. I think Athelia reshaped this part of Fargrave when she came this way. I wonder, was this her destination, or a means to an end? The true origins of Fargrave are lost. Did she come here to access another plane? Or could this demi-plane have once been a part of Miramor? Well, we shall not find our allies or the answers we seek standing here. Let us continue. This realm so easily bends to Athelia's will. Could Fargrave be a cast-off portion of Miramor? Whether Athelia remains in Fargrave or simply passed through on her way to some other plane, our path is clear. We must explore these ruins and see what we discover.
Get him.
These crystals definitely signal Athelia's presence. See where they lead, Foxy. Let fate renew your vigor, Foxy.
The prince won't be interrupted.
I believe these. The crystal grows more prominent. as if Miramore follows in its prince's wake. Feel the currents of fate flow through you. Restore your strength. That door, Proxy. I believe that is our way forward.
There you are. We were separated in the portal somehow. There's a door up here too. We'll meet you on the other side.
Beware! Shard Marshal Vargas is above you. Proxy, stay close.
You dare trespass in Miramore, in the very heart of our power. I banish you to the many paths, never to return.
Vargas banished our allies into the many paths. He took everything I had just to shield us. Baragon and Tribuna Leia are beyond our help for now. We must go on without them. I am sorry, Proxy. I tried to shield our companions, but I could not. It took all the strength I could muster to prevent us from being banished along with them. It seems Shard Marshal Vargas is much more powerful than when we last faced her. Yes. Baragon and Tribuna Leia ceased to be real to us, and became real somewhere else. That is the nature of the many paths, and a terrifying example of how the ability to navigate them can be misused. Perhaps, but only if we can find a point of connection in this plane. Shard Marshal Vargas must have hurled our allies through physical distance, as well as beyond this reality. They are someplace else. The many paths lead to different possibilities, different realities. There is no way to know where Vargas sent them. Our best bet is to continue on. Perhaps we shall locate a connection where the lamp can be used. This part of Fargrave seems more familiar, but I still... The threads of fate surrounding Fargrave are in turmoil. Something significant shall soon occur. A lingering memory. Use the echo on the proxy.
What you seek is here. The loom of the untraveled road. I have no idea what it is, but I am certain it's important.
You can stare at the sealed portal until you go mad, Vargas. I go in search of my missing memories.
The memory of Torvasad and Vargas before they recovered what had been forgotten. Let us talk. I almost feel sorry for Athelia's scions. To exist for millennia, tormented by the sense they were missing something, and could not find their purpose. The loom of the untraveled road. That must be the loom Athelia spoke of in Miskarkand. Indeed. Clearly the loom of the untraveled road is an apparatus of great importance. Vargas forgot what it was. Yet its existence never ceased to gnaw at her. This is where Athelia's trail has been leading us. We must find a way to follow. Perhaps there is something more here than our mortal senses can perceive. In this reality, the archway and mirrors have long since lost their power. But in the many paths, that might not be so. Use the lamp of clarity, Proxy. Proxy, we must find a way to activate it. That did something. Try interacting with more of the mirrors. I think the order of the symbols is important, Proxy. The dormant portal has awakened. I am curious to see the loom of which Athelia spoke. Is this another isolated section of Fargrave, or a pocket dimension within the demiplane?
Our day of reckoning is at hand. Let's go.
Proxy, look. Another memory. Use the echo mirror.
My loom of the untraveled road fills this place. From its core, I can break the shackles of fate, undo mistakes, unlock possibilities, create new histories.
Athelia can use the loom to change history. That is how she will restore what was lost.
It's magnificent. But won't some princes see it as a threat? A threat? This is a gift. The gift of unconstrained choice. The loom will weave a new story for every being. What they choose to be true. All shall benefit.
A wonderful gift indeed, my prince.
Athelia and Vargas have reached the loom's core. We must reach them before they destroy the reality we know.
Who's better than us?
That great skeleton above is one of the bearers of Fargrim. Athelia's changing it to its mirror-more reflection.
Get up!
Do you see the arches before us? I think they mark the doorway to the next part of the loop. I am not sure how to proceed, and we have no time to wander aimlessly. Perhaps the skein of secrets can show us the way. Roxy, are you injured? I am surprised you were not injured, Proxy. Unrolling the skein of secrets appeared to precipitate a reciprocal paroxysm that is, it triggered a backlash, as I am sure you noticed. Indeed. And whatever caused that also completely drained the skein's power. Perhaps Athelia protected the loom of the untraveled road against the influences of her rival princes. Or is this some property of the loom itself? I cannot say. Daedric princes are supreme within their own realms. The longer we are delayed, the stronger Athelia grows. In fact, the next defense we trigger may be more dangerous. I do not think it would be wise to use Abolisher here. I have witnessed enough of Athelia's realm to feel the power flowing through it. I believe I can use my portal magic to proceed deeper into the loom. Perhaps even reach its core. As long as Athelia does not... Hurry now. The portal I opened should carry us as far as the loom's core.
Athelia does not wish to be disturbed. Rot in the very prison that held her for all those eons.
Vargas diverted my portal. She trapped us in Athelia's prison. I see a memory. Use the Echo Near.
This is how it must be, Athelia. For the sake of reality, you cannot walk free.
You cannot contain me forever, Mora. In time, I will escape this cell.
No fate that I foresee results in your freedom. I am sorry, Athelia, but I do this to preserve reality.
Hermaeus Mora could not predict what he could not perceive. Athelia's scions, the unseen. Come, we must find a way to escape. I sense something hidden here. The lamp still functions, and it revealed a path. We should follow its guidance. Is that Farrakhan? These ruined mirrors look into different realities. They may be doors to the many paths. See if the Lamp of Clarity can free him.
Shard Marshal Vargas sent us somewhere. The Fargrave we were exploring faded away. I suddenly found myself in another version of our reality. A mirror world. Dark and empty, full of soul-crushing dread. Like an iron fist around my heart. I don't know how else to explain it. Whatever part of the many paths I was hurled into, it was a dark reflection of our reality. Timeless, empty. Not a world made of mirrors, but the world you see in a mirror. Am I making any sense? I don't know. I never saw her after Vargas cast a spell. She might have been in the world I was trapped in, or she could be anywhere. On the other side, mirrors are like windows. You can see through them, but that's all. I waited here and hoped. These were the only mirrors I found. I couldn't pass through until you used the lamp. I'm not sure there's a way out of the many paths without some sort of help. Let's stay in this reality, friend. I think we can reach the end of the maze from here.
Got to be better than that to stop us.
Can you hear me? Get me out of here!
I thought I was never going to get out of there.
The lamp. Its power is gone. At least we saved Tribune Alea. Now that we are together again, let us find an exit from this place. Look, an anomaly like the one we observed at Wendian. We must try abolish it, no matter. It works, and the abolisher appears unaffected.
What in the name of all the divines is that thing?
A Daedriga. We must find our way to the loom's core and destroy that infernal machine.
I see Athelia, Shard Marshal Vargas, and Torvasad down there.
What are we waiting for then? Let's finish this.
Now I can undo my long imprisonment. Make it so I was never forgotten. And with the new I shall weave it into this.
We must get flow through.
no quarter!
Watch out! The Shard Marshal's waiting for us!
Defeat Shard Marshal Vargas so we can reach the loom.
Vargas is shielded, friend! Use Abolisher to destroy the portals!
Counter this.
Now, Proxy, use Abolisher to destroy the loom.
Friend. But what's happening to Athelia?
Athelia has become something else.
Abolisher is depleted, but it did its job. The loom has been destroyed. I shall open an exit. Let us leave this place.
Good to see you, comrade. Baragon's waiting for you in the relic room.
Hello, friend. Put the relics in the case, please. They may be powerless now, but we shouldn't forget the part they played in all this. I'm not sure I want to keep those in my house forever, but that's good for now. Let's talk. I know losing the use of the relics is bad, but at least we destroyed the loom and stopped Athelia from changing our reality. You know, I can't even conceive of what that actually means. But now that we're back in Westweald, on to local matters. I convinced Count Calantius and Greenspeaker Derelith to sit down and talk. They're finally ready to discuss stabilizing relations between Skingrad and Vashabar. I offered my home as a private venue for their meeting. They also want to speak to you. Don't look so surprised. You're a hero! You brought down Nantharian and defeated Shard Marshal Vargas. Yes, there are Recollection and Shardborn stragglers to deal with, but you earned the trust of both Wood Elves and the Colovians through your actions. They're waiting for you out in the hall. I don't know what exactly they want to talk about, but it probably wouldn't hurt to remind them that friends make better neighbors than enemies.
Traveller, we hope to see you here. I'm told you killed King Nantharian beneath Vashabar's very roots. I know he had to be stopped, yet the tragedy will haunt me. He started with a great vision before he wandered onto dark paths. Vashabar is done with kings, but I can speak for the people of Dawnwood. It falls to me to make good on the obligation Nantharian left us. We must try to make amends for the damage he inflicted on Westweald. You and Tribuna Leia showed us what's possible when we accept a little help. We can't give back what Nantharian has taken, but we can promise to be good neighbors going forward. And we will not advance beyond Dawnwood. That is all we need. If we find any more Wildburn seeds, we will destroy them. As for the area of devastation, our Greenspeakers shall attempt to repair the damage and restore the land. It will take time, but nature will heal. It always does.
Tribuna Leia has spoken at length about you and enthralled me with tales of your exploits on behalf of Westweald. And to think you're not even a native of Skingrad or Vashabar. I hope it isn't too late for us to learn something from your example. It will not be easy to overcome the distrust the Recollection sowed between Colovians and Wood Elves. But thanks to your valiant defense of Westweald, I think I can convince my people to see the opportunities here, not just the threats. For my part, yes. Of course, I must persuade some nobles and landowners to part with abandoned estates they can no longer return to. But I want to see the new forest held by allies of Skingrad, not left empty to be overrun by monsters and outlaws. I spend a lot of coin to buy land, and with that land I secure a treaty of cooperation with our new neighbors. I thank you, hero. You aided Westweald in our time of need. Wherever your journey leads next, Skingrad is forever in your debt.
Nantharian betrayed all we hold sacred, Count Calantius. And he has paid for his crimes with his life.
I want no war with Vashabar, but Nantharian left Ostamir in ruins and killed our people.
We cannot return Dawnwood to the seed it sprang from, but we too seek peace. We shall do everything we can to prove ourselves friends and allies to the Weald.
Through all we faced, it wasn't until I was lost in the many paths that I realized the true danger to the Weald. I think you saved everything when you destroyed the loom of the untraveled road. Of course, Ethelia is still out there, somewhere. That's tomorrow's problem, friend. You stopped the Recollection, and you held back the forces of Miramor. The people of Westweald can handle what's left of Ethelia's servants. We're free to find our own way forward now. Thanks to you.
We saved Westweald and preserved history. But Prince Ethelia still roams free.
Doomed. We're all doomed. Mortal reality itself is threatened.
Mortal, something's wrong. Hermaeus Mora senses fates, futures winking out of existence. Potentials he predicted that will never be. I feel these instabilities rippling across reality. This must be Athelia's doing, but we need to be certain. Instabilities! Places where the threads of fate fray and shred. And it's getting worse. I sense one forming in Westweald even now. But this one feels different. Addressing anomalies of fate is my sacred duty, but these scare even me. I suggested we hide in the Icor Sea until this blows over. But the Great Eye said no. So I need you and Laramil to accompany me to the instability. Will you serve as Fate's chosen once more? I'll give you those pieces of gold you like so much. Before we depart, gather the Daedric relics, Abolisher, the Lamp of Clarity, and the Skein of Secrets. Even though they're depleted, the Great Eye has seen that you will need them in the trials to come. And I'm certainly not going to carry them. Haven't you realized by now that the Great Eye doesn't share the whys and wherefores with the hired help? But if Hermaeus Mora tells you to spin, you ask how many revolutions. And yes, I'm speaking from experience. I haven't had a chance to examine them yet. All I can tell you is that they're very disturbing. The way they shred fates before they're born. And they're growing more powerful. So, if you could get a move on, maybe we could do something about them. The relics are this way, gathering dust on the tiny mortal's wall.
Greenspeaker Derelith, Count Calentius, I'm afraid our friend has urgent business to take care of. Tribune Alea, will you escort the Greenspeaker and the Count home safely?
Consider it done.
Now that you have the relics, I suppose I must open a portal to the instability. This way, mortals.
Scrooge, where is this instability you detected?
Good question. But the threads of fate connected to that mortal are shredded. We should talk to him.
It was awful. Like the world ripped open. Like a tear. It swallowed our cart and poor Lazarus. Sucked them right in. We were foraging in Pharaoh's cavern, Lazarus and me. We heard a terrible ripping sound, and there it was. A tear in the space before us. Never seen the like. It was full of nothing. But Lazarus got too close. He was just gone. So I ran.
We must enter the cave and see this tear for ourselves. A tear in the fabric of reality. Not only have the threads of fate been parted, a piece of existence has been destroyed.
That's not good. Immortal, I think I know what's happening here. Let's talk. What started as instabilities in the threads of fate have become tears in the fabric of reality itself. The Great Eye's worst fears have come to pass. Somehow, some way, Athelia is responsible for this disaster. I can feel it in my seventh appendage. I'm saying that before I returned to get you and Laramil, I examined a number of these instabilities. Some in the Telvanni Peninsula, even a few in Apocrypha. If they all grow into these reality tears, well, we're all doomed is an understatement. Now you doubt my expertise? Look, we only detected these instabilities because of their effect on nearby threads of fate. And that reality tear, if I didn't have all my eyes on it, I wouldn't even know it was there. This is Athelia, all right.
I'm not sure we can fix them. Our best chance is to find Athelia and return her to her prison. And you have the relics to do it. We just have to figure out how to restore their depleted energy. Let me think. Here, I've marked your map. Take Abolisher to the Telvanni Peninsula, the Lamp to Westweald, and the Skein to Apocrypha. I'll send help to meet you with directions on how to restore the relics. Meanwhile, Laramil and I will try to locate Athelia.
We shall send Gadain, Baragon, and Tribune Leia to assist you, Proxy. Meet us at Baragon's townhouse when you have restored the relics. And, if you would, convey my regards to Gadain.
Right. I'm not doing this without you. Get up!
Looking stronger already. Better overstocked than under. Always worth stocking up.
with you.
What do you have? Oh, thank you. Just look at the wings on... I asked them to trap some guzzards for me as pets, and I don't...
What would Count Verandis do in this situation? You're not planning to attend the Valente Vineyards auction, are you? I'm sure something untoward is going on in there. You seem capable. Would you be willing to help me investigate the situation? House Ravenwatch can be very generous. It isn't just any auction. It's run by and for vampires. Being a vampire myself, I can't help but wonder why Lord Gallio Valente, vineyard owner and vampire coven leader, wants to sell wine to other vampires. It's not like we partake of the stuff. Not exactly. I was hunting a violent vampire gang called the Terrors when I found an invitation to the auction. Inviting vampires to such an event is strange enough, but offering this Vesper Valente vintage? That has me concerned. Will you help me? First, let's look around the vineyard. I want to examine the grapes they grow here. Besides, it's a good idea to get a feel for the grounds before we head into the auction. Never fear. This is exactly what House Ravenwatch trained me for. As I said, I was trying to pick up the trail of the Terrors, violent vampires that were last seen heading toward the Weald when I found the invitation. Another troublesome vampire I was forced to deal with had it among his possessions. You did? That's one less problem I need to worry about then. As for the invitation, when things make no sense, I feel obliged to find clarity. Dangerous vampires, bidding on wine they cannot drink, hints at a mystery I cannot leave unsolved. It's been in the Valente family for generations. From what I was able to ascertain, Lord Valente inherited the place about a year ago. Seems he returned from a long trip, and his father suddenly fell ill and died. Now the place is under his control. According to the invitation I found, yes. And not just any vampire. He's the leader of a powerful coven, which is why this whole affair concerns me. Ravenwatch has never heard of this coven or Valente before. And a wine auction? It makes no sense. You lead while I look around. An injured field hand. Let's find out what happened.
This is no place to wander aimlessly, traveler. The foul beasts are vicious and hungry for blood. Ugliest hounds Drovir has ever seen. This one just finished checking the new grapes and was on his way to the auction when it came out of nowhere. Ripped up Drovir's leg real good. Drovir thought the request was strange too, but Lord Valente insisted, and Lady Valente specifically told Sentry Helvius to let the servants in, even if we didn't have the fancy invitations. If you're here for the auction, you should head inside. He came back from his travels different. Even his father was concerned about the changes in his beloved son. But shortly after young Gallio returned, his father fell ill and died. Gallio inherited the vineyard, the title, and all that entailed. Just that he invited some important guests. He's been working on the new grapes for a special vintage since he returned, and he's very proud of it. Says it's going to make him even more rich and powerful. Can that be possible? This one is unsure. Lord Valente developed the new seeds in his alchemical laboratory under the manor. They grow thorny vines that bear a crimson grape unlike anything Drovir has ever seen before. Once the first vintage was ready, Lord Valente set up this auction. Lord Valente's new wife, a high elf with a name too complicated for this one's Khajiit tongue. Drovir believes they met during young Gallio's time away. But what does this old field hand know of such things?
Let's look more closely at those grapes. The scent wafting off those grapes. It's tantalizing. The new grapes are certainly... It appears the grapes did not agree with this death hound. Just as Count Ferrandis taught me, there is always something to learn if you simply pay attention. The field hand was attacked by a death hound, a sure indication of vampiric activity. And he provided a wealth of information. Don't you agree? So you were listening. Good. The field hand described Galio as different when he returned. He developed a new grape to make him richer and more powerful, and he recently married a high elf. But the marriage already seems troubled. Just as Count... The field hand assumed you were a guest of the auction, and the invitation did say to bring my most favored mortal servant. If anyone asks, you're the blood servant of Master Bogvir, the vampire I shall pretend to be and whose invitation I carry. The invitation indicates we're to head to the walled garden just east of the manor. I suppose that's where they're letting the guests gather prior to the start of the auction. Shall we proceed?
Halt! Your invitation, please.
Right. Here you are.
Welcome, Master Bogvir, and guest. I'll escort you to Lord Valente, this way.
Just a moment. Let's talk first. So, do I look like a Master Bogvir? Probably not. But we work with the tools we're given. Let's split up and mingle. Talk to servants, guests, whoever's willing to chat. Anything that can tell us the true purpose of this auction. Vampires don't need wine, especially made from grapes that apparently poisoned a deathhound. Try not to come off as too curious, though. We're supposed to be guests here, after all. I am. But as soon as we walked in, I was hit with sudden pangs of hunger. Not unlike when I smelled those grapes, but much stronger. Luckily, I carry a flask of blood for times of need. I'll just find an out-of-the-way spot to take a sip.
Can I offer you a glass of our new Vesper Valente?
Certainly. I'm very curious about this wine.
Really? You're the first of Lord Valente's guests to accept the wine. I hope you enjoy it. I'd offer you a glass, but your friend just took the last one. I wasn't expecting that. None of the other guests I've served this evening even tried it. Only their attendants and servants. It is. The vineyard's latest vintage, Vesper Valente. Lord Valente did tell us that his guests probably wouldn't want to try it before the auction, but that I should freely provide it to their attendants and servants. I have. Lord Valente was generous enough to let all the vineyard workers and servants have a glass before the guests arrived. It was salty and crisp, with a slight metallic aftertaste. Something to do with Lord Valente's alchemical process, I think.
You there! I am bored, and my hounds are hungry. Will the auction start soon, or must we continue this Colovian dance of manners and pleasantries while my gold sits unspent? Apologies. I mistook you for a Valente servant. Lord Valente is clever, and if the wine accomplishes a fraction of what he claims, the waiting will have been worth it. But I would prefer to simply buy what I want and not deal with an auction. Haven't you tried it yet? You really must sample the vintage for yourself. I suggest you find a glass quickly, before the auction begins. All of the servants and attendants must have that wine flowing through their veins for the main event.
Welcome. I'm Lord Gallio Valente, the humble proprietor of Valente Vineyards and Winery. You, however, have me at a disadvantage. I do not believe we've met. Which of my acquaintances decided to bring you along as their guest today? Bogvir, of course. Where is my old friend? Still upset about that little incident? No matter. I was hoping to clear things up before the auction got underway. Send him over to talk to me the next time you see him. Oh, don't trouble yourself. Any guest of Bogvir's is welcome. Enjoy yourself, and do make sure to try the wine. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must prepare for the auction.
An
Another one of my husband's guests. No, you're either an attendant or a servant, I'd wager. Who brought you to my husband's little affair? Pray tell. Master Bogvir. Is that the name he uses now? You know, he bears a striking resemblance to an old acquaintance of mine. In fact, I'm sure of it. How is Fenorian? And why has he come to Valente Vineyard? No? And why don't I believe you? Though don't worry, I have no desire to reveal Fenorian's deception to my husband. Not before I learn what's going on here, the same as you. Be so kind as to let Fenorian know I'd like to speak to him when he's free.
This wine is specifically meant for the mortals here, not the vampires. So why are the vampires bidding on it? And why is my flask doing little to curb my rising hunger? Tell me you learned something more, my friend. I'm sorry? Did you say Lady Valente's name is Ursilia? Oh, she's that Ursilia. Should we leave? Maybe we can sneak out the way we came in. Right. We do need to figure out what's going on here. All right. I'll stay and talk to Ursilia. You head into the manor and see if you can find Lord Valente's office. Something in there might tell us more about the purpose of this wine. This wine is... That's a story for another time, friend. Don't worry. We can talk more later. In the meantime...
you again? What are you doing in my husband's office? You and Fenorian. Never in the right place at the right time. So, did you find what you were looking for? Share it with me and maybe I won't call down to the winery for my husband's army of mercenaries. Let me see that journal. By the stars, he killed his own father, and he plans to kill me. Oh, he's a cretin and a monster. And yes, pouring wine into people just so you can eat them and gain unnatural power is pretty bad too. Damn it! I drank the wine! I suspected something was amiss. Since I arrived, we haven't consummated our marriage, and he spends his time down in the winery, locked in his alchemy laboratory with his mercenaries. Plus, he covets my family's fortune. But a vampire makes sense. This vineyard could be a motherlode in the right hands. My hands, friend of Fenorian, not my husband's. I assume you're here to stop him? Help Fenorian finish the task, and I'll forgive him for the affront he visited upon me and my family. Make sure you do. I have no intent to serve as a wine glass for my husband.
Celia, I suppose I owe you an explanation.
Of course you do, but I don't care. Just talk to your friend and deal with my husband.
All right, if you say so. Lord Valente is well and truly into the auction now, so we have a bit of time. Interesting. He really spells it out, doesn't he? Okay, that does seem to be the general idea. If we allow this to spread, the ramifications will be staggering. Even relatively peaceful vampires might be tempted to start killing. Oh, yes. I do suppose I owe her for that. I'm no hired assassin, but I do make a habit out of disposing of dangerous vampires. We will do what is... Head downstairs and scout the... That's a very personal question. I mean, no offense, but I'm not inclined to share it with someone I only just met. But... Celia! Before we talk, let me see if I've got anything that will flush the wine from your system.
I'm not drunk, Fenorian. I only had a glass or two.
Right behind you, friend. Valente's journal said he had a coven of vampires. We should expect a fight. Captives, and apparently under the influence of the wine. Friend, let's speak. These workers must be some of the subjects Galio mentioned in his journal. They're on the verge of turning into blood fiends. I might be able to mix a counter-agent with the proper ingredients. Grape pulp left over from the Vesper Valente wine. Wax flower petals to hasten the recovery process.
You weren't keeping score, were you? Me neither. Look at you. Let's go. Easy. That will teach them not to cross us.
Oh, good. I was starting to work. I'm glad you're back. Did you find everything we need? Once I've brewed the counter-agent, pick up the bucket and splash the remedy over our poor patients. It's not the most dignified way to administer medicine, but it works without putting either of you at risk. And that should do it. You're free to administer the cure. Looks like the effects are already subsiding.
You saved us. Please, you need to stop him. Thank you for help. We really thought things were looking up. Lord Valente had such grand ideas for the vineyard and winery. He even asked us to try a new vintage he was working on. We felt so honored. Yes.
We need to destroy that laboratory. You scout ahead while I work on freeing these people. I'll meet you there. You lead while I look around.
I knew there was something wrong.
You won't ruin all my hard work! Must I do everything myself?
This is it. The laboratory. We need to destroy it all. Valente's alchemical equipment is truly impressive. It's a shame we have to destroy it. But we need to make sure no one else can continue his experiment. These vats turn the mushrooms into a fertilizer for the grapes. Increase the flames under the vats by adjusting the valves. That will... A part of me hates to see valuable equipment go to waste. Turn up the flame valves as high as they'll go. I'll get rid of these resources. Now, the mushrooms. A few well-placed torches should ignite the entire harvest. That's it. Let's get out of here. Celia, about your husband.
Not now, Fenorian. I have more important matters. As I was saying, I'll compensate double wages for all who remain. With your expertise, we'll revive the traditional methods and be producing excellent wine in no time.
That was excellent work, friend. We destroyed Lord Gallio's laboratory and managed to rescue the workers he experimented on. There might be... We didn't have to. Ursilia told me she interrupted the auction and told Lord Gallio in a voice loud enough for all to hear that the Raven... Perhaps a few bottles were carried off, but none of them had time to load any casks or crates before they fled. I'll track them down eventually. And Ursilia is set on taking control and turning the vineyard and winery into a profitable I suppose you're off on another adventure now, friend. Know that I appreciate the assistance you provided. And eventually, after I make sure any remnants of Lord Gallio's vile experiments are taken care of here, then I may check on the auction guests that scattered and see that any absconded bottles of Vesper Valente are dealt with. There's always something.
wait for the Weald!
Legion jobs available.
Welcome
here.
back. Admirable work. I have reports that he's... I appreciate your help.
A wondering... Join? A wise question.
You there. I need someone to gather venom from crystal. These crystals. I remember when the
I come from a...
Ready for anything.